Hello folks, welcome to my Sudipta's channel, Other Musings once more. Today I come up with another Pika card reading to see what's going to happen in the March of 2021, what sort of things are going to take place in your life, what sort of things you need to be aware of, what sort of course correction you may need to do during this particular month. And so this particular Pika card will hopefully provide some guidance for you in that direction. And as usual, I have four groups in front of you. This is a group number one. This is a beautiful small green elephant. This is group number two. This is red jasper. This is group number three. This is a black tourmaline crystal. And then this is group number four. This is a small wrist bracelet made up of these crystals. This is group number four. So again, you have four groups: group number one, group number two, group number three, and group number four. As usually I do, after I am done talking, I'm going to keep these four groups in front of you for about a minute or so that you can take your time. You can pause the video if needed, and you can decide which particular group or which particular crystal you are drawn to the most, and then that will be your group. So once you have made your selection, the timestamps will be given in the description box below. Just click on the timestamp corresponding to your group and I'm going to meet you over there. Now, another thing is obviously tarot Pika cards in general are meant to provide you some guidance. And these are not supposed to be, absolute predictions, right? So hopefully these readings will show you what you may be doing wrong or how the situations can change around you, so that you can take it home and you can act upon that. Also, these are general readings, so whatever I say will not be applicable for every one of you. So please pick and choose whatever applies to you the most and ignore the rest. Another thing is tarot by nature and all my readings are timeless. So though this is particularly meant for March 2021, but whenever you come across this reading, it should be applicable for you at that point of life. So now having said that, I'm going to now pause and I'm going to leave these four cards or four groups in front of you for about a minute or so. Hello, group number one. Let me see what March 2021 has in store for you. So for those of you who have chosen this green elephant, this will be your reading. I sense, okay. So then we have the nine of Wands reversed. Okay, let me see what else is there. Okay, Eight of Wands. So things are happening quite fast for you, and I think you are not being able to cope with the reality, not being able to cope with the things as it's happening around you. So I sense that things are probably not going to go very smoothly for you, and it has probably not been going very smoothly for you so far. At least in the last couple of months or maybe last couple of days, and it's going to be a little bit of a difficult going for you guys. My March, my group number one. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news here, but I'm sure the tarot has some guidance for you. Because remember, whenever things are going very well for you, I think there is not much need of a guidance, right? You only need guidance, when things are proving to be difficult for you, and that's the time, when you want to find out what you can do right, to make things, go back to their original course, right? So I think that's the whole point of having a tarot reading. So, yeah, so things are, so you have kind of, I feel like, you have, in a way, kind of given up hope, because the odds are like too highly, too tightly stacked up against you, and things are moving in such a way, and maybe in such a direction that you are not being able to cope with them. And so I sense that this is like an indication of lost dreams. So you may have some dreams. Also, I sense there could be some family troubles brewing, right? And so not everything is going hunky-dory for you, my group number 1. And so what's happening over here is, because none of the things are going in your favor right now, so there is a tendency for you to, almost like, give up in a way, and, there's kind of a sense of, obviously a sense of frustration and a sense of a confusion as to what you should be doing, right? Yeah, I think there is a tendency for you to, when I see this Knight of Wands, right, I feel like somehow I get the vibe that there's a tendency for you to, maybe be too impulsive. Like, you are always ready for action, which is, which has a good and bad side, right? So obviously the good side is you don't have any dearth of energy, right? So you're always ready to jump ahead and move ahead. But sometimes remember, if your decision to jump ahead is not grounded in good judgment, in good decision making, and if you haven't really thought through something, then that can land you up in trouble, right? So, okay, I see the Temperance card over here next to it. So that's very significant, right? So having the Knight of Wands and the Temperance side by side. So Temperance talks about overall, kind of a balance, right? More balanced attitude. Temper. So temperance comes from temper, right? So temper means like subdued, not subdued, but it's like a more balanced, more thought out approach. That's what I was saying before, more thought out approach. Whatever you are doing, you have to think through carefully. And I think that applies for you guys in both, in your family affair as well as, in your financial, in your career, whatever it is. So I feel that this energy, whatever I'm getting so far, is of someone who's a little bit more impulsive, who has probably, who lacks that ability to think properly. And, I shouldn't say think properly. Obviously, you have that faculty, but you are not making use of that faculty. I think there's a tendency for you to like jump into actions too promptly, and that is landing you up in trouble. So maybe even in your family front, you are taking impulsive decisions. You are taking decisions, without consulting, for example, your spouse or, your parents, right? And that's landing you up in trouble, and that's also causing some bad vibes between you and your family members. And the same thing applies, in the career front or in the business front, whatever it is. It is that your lack of decision, or it could be like, you have that very high opinion of yourself. It's like you think that, you can never go wrong, right? And that's why you have the tendency to take decisions that, though they have landed you in trouble, but, you're probably not learning from them. Now, at the same time, the Knight of Wands can also indicate, like, since things have been going not so good for you, this can also indicate, that need for taking new action, that need for taking, finding new inspiration in you, and that need for taking another leap in the proper direction, right? And also remember, I think the answers are around you, the answers are within you, right? But you are not taking the time, taking the effort to, again, to find those answers, because again, you are jumping too soon. You are not taking the time to look around, to search within, to search around, and that's what's causing all these troubles, right? Yeah, so the Six of Pentacles reversed, right? So again, I feel like it's that, what I was telling you earlier, right? So it's that energy of being, in a way, too self-absorbed, right? You are not taking the time to heed to others. Maybe, and again, if it comes out a little bit harsh, that is not my intention, but I'm trying to find a better word. But, I'll be honest with you. I think you may be someone, who's a little bit haughty in your attitude, a little bit more self-absorbed. And again, remember what I said earlier, right? I think you are someone, who feels that, you can never go wrong. And there's a little bit of arrogance, maybe. And again, I'm sorry I have to use those words, but, again, I'm just trying to guide you in the proper direction. And obviously, I am no one to guide. Whatever the tarot is telling me, whatever, my intuition, my guides are making me tell, that's what I'm saying. So don't take it in a wrong way. I have no bad intention towards any one of you. In fact, I have the best of intentions. But I'm just trying to be honest over here. So so far, I think that is the vibe. And I see a lot of wands and a lot of, wands cards so far. Let me see what else is coming out. Yeah, strength. So again, these are all coming out reversed. So you have the strength reversed over here. You have the Page of Pentacles reversed, the Two of Cups reversed, the Nine of Wands reversed. So as a whole, obviously the things are not going well for you. And you are, see, the strength has come out directly below the Nine of Wands. So it talks about the same thing. It's that lack of strength, lack of courage. I think you have been fighting for too long. And you are like, almost like ready to give up. You are like, enough is enough. Whatever I do, you are thinking to yourself that maybe, hey, I am doing everything right. I am taking the right decisions. I don't have any, dot of energy. I am trying to do whatever I can, but somehow things are not working out for me. What is going on? What am I doing wrong, right? So yeah, again, Nine of Cups reversed. So again, you are not feeling satisfied emotionally, financially. There is no sense of fulfillment. There is no sense of satisfaction. The Devil card. See, this is what, I had a hunch. See, this Devil card, when I see the Devil card over here, right, and then I see the Knight of Wands, and then I see the Six of Pentacles reversed over here. Again, it's the same thing. There's some sort of a negative vibe, negative energy, negative vibration that's troubling you, and so you are under a grip of that negative energy. And and again, this is nothing supernatural, so don't take it in that way. It is all about, our thought process, how we think, how we look at the world, how we perceive things, how we judge. I think it's all about that, right? So again, there is a need for you to change your outlook. There is a need, especially in the month of March, there is a need for you to really dig deep inside and ask yourself, what have you been doing wrong, right? So despite your efforts, why are things not working out in your favor? And really, take a hard look at yourself. Really ask yourself some hard questions. Like, it's not only about what have you been doing wrong. It's also about, are you missing something? Maybe, your friends and well-wishers have been trying to guide you in the correct way, in the correct direction. But, you have been simply ignoring their advice because of, your tendency to value your own judgment, value your own decisions, too highly. Now, again, that is good in a way, because that shows that, you have self-confidence, which is good. But remember, too much of self-confidence becomes overconfidence. Overconfidence is not good, right? It makes someone blind right? And that's what's happening to you. So you're like so full of, confidence in yourself, in your own ability, that, you are not seeing the obvious. You are taking, you are not realizing that, you are taking one misstep after another. And the answers are, maybe lying around you. You are not seeing that. So I think you need to slow down. You need to start looking at, yourself, start asking yourself, am I being too arrogant? Am I being too kind of, self-absorbed? Am I being too overconfident? Should I be, paying attention to what others are saying? Should I be taking more time to think through whatever I am doing? So there's a need for patience. There's a need for balance. There's a need for more grounding, right? That's what I feel like in your life. There's a need for being more open, being more receptive to other ideas, to whatever, your well-wishers, your family members are saying, right? There's a need for more bonding with others. I think that's what I feel over here. Again, the 10 of materials reversed. So all of this, most of these cards are coming out reversed so far, right? Again, it talks about, family. This talks about family, right? So it's very significant that this is coming out directly below the 2 of cups over here reversed. So there's definitely a financial issue, there's definitely family issues, and as a result, there's overall lack of emotional fulfillment, the overall lack of, financial fulfillment. The Hierophant. See how the cards are coming out one below the other, right? You have the 2 of cups over here reversed and the 10 of materials reversed. Both talks about, lack of, happiness in the family, lack of balance in the family. And then you have the Knight of Wands over here upright, and then you have the Hierophant over here directly below that upright. When I look at this Hierophant again, if you look at the image, right, it looks like, this is you. And you are sitting, you are sitting on this, this high pedestal, right? And and you expect people to look up to you. I think this is what I was referring to earlier. That kind of a haughty attitude, that kind of being too self-absorbed. You are not looking at them. See, your eyes are covered. I don't know if you can see this properly. See, it's like her eyes are covered. It's like you're covering your own judgment. You're purposely not seeing things, you're not heeding the advice of others, and you feel like you are sitting, seated on this high pedestal, and people should be looking up to you, people should be always listening to you, people should be always following you, but it's not the other way around. You are not prepared to come down, you are not prepared to listen to others, right? And that's what's landing you in trouble. That's what I was referring to with regard to this Knight of Wands also. That's what's landing you in trouble, in all sorts of trouble. Right, so please pay attention to that. So I have the 5 of materials, over here reversed. So I think, so again, I think that the situation can change and the situation should change, because why it should change is because, the things are really in your hand. I don't think here there's any external factor that is really to be blamed over here. It's more about your thought process, is more about your attitude to yourself, it's more about your attitude to others. I think that's what needs to change. See, the door to value, again, it's the same thing coming up again and again and again. So this card, if it had come out upright, it would have been a really positive card, right? It would show like new opportunities are coming your way, new possibilities are opening up, but it has come out reversed. So that means, again, the meaning is quite obvious, right? So it's like, you are closing down, you are purposely like closing all those new doors just because, you are not prepared to think in a different way. Maybe that door is right in front of you, but you are simply ignoring to close, you're simply ignoring that, you're simply like closing it. Just because, your own thought process is not changing, right? Action, again, all of these cards are coming out reversed, right? So this action is obviously, again, I think, you are becoming fatigued, you are becoming tired, you are feeling that lack of strength. I think that's why, that these horses are slowing down. So you are kind of confused, you don't know what else to do, what should be your next step. Or it could also mean that you are taking all the actions, but they are going in the wrong direction. So these horses, they're running in the wrong direction. So this is what I was saying even earlier over here with regard to the Knight of Wands. So even here you have the horse, right? This horse is like ready to jump ahead, it's ready to leap, ready to take charge. But what's happening over here is maybe you're leading the horse in the wrong direction. Maybe the horses are going in the wrong direction. That's why this talks about wrong action. You are taking action, but it's not proving to be fruitful. It is wrong action, and that's what leading you, causing you more pain, causing more disillusionment in you, and that's what's sapping up all your energy, all your strength, and you're feeling like lost. You don't know what to do. But it's fundamentally happening again because of. You need to change your attitude, you need to change your thought process, you need to be more receptive to others' ideas, be more grounded. See, what's more interesting is you have a lot of pentacle cards over here, right? You have this 1 over here, you have the 2 over here, the 3 over here, then 4 over here. You have 4 pentacle cards. And plus you have the temperance card over here. So this overall, it talks about being more grounded. You have to ground yourself. You cannot like sit on that pedestal and look down upon others, right? Maybe others, maybe you have a lot of well-wishers, who want you to like step down and and be more grounded, and listen to them, pay to their advice, pay heed to their advice. Maybe they want, your good, but you are not seeing that because of your own attitude. So it's all about, things are in your hand. I think that's why the 5 of materials over here has come out reversed, which is in a way good. That means it talks about possibility of turning around things, possibility of coming out of this situation that you are finding yourself in, but you have to take action. And the last 2 tarot I have is get more information. So this is very significant. Get more information. What kind of information? This is what I have been telling you again and again over here with regard to the Knight of Wands, with regard to the action, with regard to the door to value. I've already talked about this. So there are information. People are trying to maybe give you proper advice. People are maybe trying to lead you in the right way. Maybe there are things you are missing out, very obvious things in front of you. But you are not, you are so self-absorbed. You have that adamant belief in yourself that, whatever I am thinking, whatever I am doing, whatever steps I am about to follow is the right way and everything else is wrong. Your overconfidence, your slight arrogant attitude, that haughty attitude, your tendency to make yourself sit on the pedestal and look down upon others, that's what's the single biggest reason that is landing you up in trouble. So my group number 1, you need to seriously pay some attention to that and really ask some hard questions to yourself. Take a very hard look at yourself, how you have been conducting life, how you have been going about doing things, and ask yourself what needs to change. Have an open discussion with yourself. Not only that, be more receptive to others' ideas. Be more receptive to your family members, your friends, your well-wishers. See what you have been missing so far. Try to think through everything. Try to get more information. See, this also talks about more proper planning, right? Don't just jump into action straight away. Do a proper planning, right? Think in a cool, level-headed way, and then take proper action. Because again, the good point about this is, you don't have any dearth of energy. It's only about your thought process. It's only about, you treating yourself in a very, high. It's your overconfidence that has, really caused you so much trouble. But if you can correct that, because you don't have any dearth of energy, you can really go far. You can really, reverse all this stuff. But you need to come out of that negative energy, that devil energy. And the final card I have is meditation. Again, meditation brings awareness. So again, the meditation and get more information, right? These are very significant, right? Because this meditation talks about, what I have been referring to so long, like that need for introspection, need for, really deep, going deep inside and asking yourself, what have I been doing wrong? Am I being too overconfident? Am I ignoring the most obvious things? Am I ignoring, my friends, my well-wishers, my family members' advice, right? Am I not thinking through properly? Is there any shortcoming in my planning, my decision making? right? And you can really get those answers, by going into that meditation. And by meditation, I don't mean like, you have to be a yogi. Like, I think it simply talks about being more contemplative, giving your mind a rest. Sit for some time and think through, like, what have you done so far? Why have they not given you the proper result? Was there something wrong in your own attitude? I think because there may have been a tendency for you to always blame circumstances, always blame your friends. It's always someone else, not yourself. There has probably been a tendency of that, like, whatever I have done, it all has been good. Maybe the circumstance was not right. Maybe the situation was not right. Maybe my business partner was not doing the proper job. Maybe my family members were not supportive. So you have always like blamed others. Come out of that. It is not about them. It is about your own attitude that needs to change. It is like your overconfidence, your lack of planning, your lack of balance. So it talks about overall balance. There are also a lot of fiery energy over here, right? Like, again, it's so some of you could also be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or you could also be some of the earth signs, like Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So some of you could be also those signs. But again, it's overall talks about balance, talks about grounding, talks about being more confident, but not being overconfident. Talks about proper planning, and you can come out of that, because again, the good point is you have a lot of energy, you have a lot of drive in yourself. So if you can correct your own outlook, I think that's what you need to work on, my group number 1 in the month of March, and you should be able to surely come out of this. I think that's what this fiber material is also showing. So don't close your own door, don't take wrong action, think through, plan, be more grounded, listen to others, don't be overconfident, be confident but don't be overconfident, right? And I think your much more brighter prospect is waiting for you, my group number 1. Hope this resonates with you, and hope this helps you, go in the right direction. If it does, then don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. And I hope to see you again in another video in the future. For now, I take your leave. Bye. Hi, group number 2. For those of you who have chosen this red jasper, we'll see what waits for you in the month of March, and what kind of actions, what kind of change in your attitude, change in your thought process, change in your day-to-day activities that you need to bring about to make some difference in March. Okay, so we have the justice reversed. So something wrong has happened with you. You have been the victim of some wrongdoing, some injustice, some imbalance. I can see. Okay, so let me before I comment any further, let me look at the other cards. Yep. So you have been trying to fight against that, whatever that wrong that has been committed against you, whatever that act of treachery or act of deceit or some wrongdoing, and you are trying to fight hard against that. You are trying to find sorry, I get all entangled. You are trying hard to come out of that. You are trying hard to come out of that, right? So yep. So, and that situation or something else, I sense that there's an issue about not being able to walk away. Now, what is this situation that you're not being able to walk away from? Is this related to this injustice? Is it related to this wrongdoing? So it looks like obviously there's something has happened that has not been just for you, and probably you are too engrossed in that, and I can sense why you are being too engrossed in that, because obviously you are trying to fight against that. You are trying to come out of that. Now, and so that's why you are not being able to fully, close out that chapter and walk away from that. Now, there could be something else also that, you are still holding on to. But, before I comment on that any further, let me see what else Tarot has to say. Okay. So definitely, I sense here a story about, lost opportunity, your potential not being used. So you may be someone, who has lot to give to the world or to the, to your surrounding, to your family members. You have a lot of potential, but because of this, whatever, this unjust things that may have been done against you, your inner potential is not really coming to the full fruition that it is supposed to. Okay, so Knight of Wands. Okay, so it could be like something that your own rash action could have resulted in this kind of a thing. But before I say anything, let me see. Okay, I have the Temperance card. Yeah, so I say there's a need for that balanced attitude, right? And so it could be in some of your cases that maybe you trusted some people too soon, right? And it is your rash action, it is your impulsive action that may have now landed you into trouble, that may have landed you in the midst of that wrong company. Or, you may have done something rash without thinking, about the pros and cons properly. That has now landed you in trouble. So maybe there is a question of, some fraud, some deceitful scheme, that, you have, and that has, and you have been the victim of, or you could be the victim of some things like that. Or maybe this is going to happen to you in March, and so that's what the tarot is warning you. So be very careful, because unless you have already suffered this, this is a warning for you, that my group number 2, that don't be too rash in month of March. I think there's a need for you to be more balanced in your attitude, be more balanced in your thought process, because there are clearly some people or some things that may not work in your favor. And if it has already happened, then obviously that's too bad. But so you're definitely trying to come out of that. But what I'm saying over here is, it could be, again, your lack of judgment, that could have landed you in this kind of a trouble. I see the Six of Pentacles over here. Now, before I go any further, group number 2, you may want to definitely see the video for group number 1, because this is really like surprising, and this is really wonderful. These 3 cards, the Knight of Wands, Temperance, and the Six of Pentacles. I generally shuffle my cards thoroughly before I pick for the next group, and I do a blind shuffling and a blind picking of cards. So it's really this is where I think the divine intervention comes in. These 3 cards came in this exact sequence and this exact same position for group number 1. And in fact, group number 1 story was somewhat similar to yours, but in their case, it was more about their own attitude, their own lack of balance, their own being overconfident. But I think in your case, while that is partly true, you also have that tendency for rash action, but I think in your case, there was definitely some other external factor, some other external causes, someone's deceitful action that may have landed you in trouble. But these 3 are really wonderful. I mean, I'm shocked to see these 3 cards in the exact same position and in the exact same sequence. But again, so when I see this Six of Pentacles over here and I see this Justice card, it's definitely telling me that you have been the victim of some false scheme. Maybe you had invested in some sort of a cheat fund or some mutual fund, that was a fraud scheme, right? Some sort of a Ponzi scheme or something like that. I cannot say the exact thing, but you have been definitely a victim of some fraudulent action, something that has really landed you in trouble, and you are trying to come out of that. And also, this Knight of Wands, it not only talks about that rash action, it could also indicate, that there's a need for, that new inspiration, that new sense of inspiration, because obviously, you have been fighting against that odd, and obviously you are trying to come out of, that past. You are trying to come out of that unpleasant thing, whatever has happened with you, right? And so there is a need for you, to keep on fighting against that, right? To keep up your spirit at the moment. To don't let your inspiration, ebb away, right? Because you need to fight this fight, so that you can come out successfully. So that you can fully close this out, right? So I think this Knight of Wands also indicates that. So don't give up. Don't give up. And I think so far, you are not giving up. You are fighting. But so keep doing that. So Three of Swords. Three of Voice is Three of Swords. So definitely I sense, some sort of a, emotional heartbreak. Something that has caused you grief. And again, this could be related to this, this mistrust. Maybe trusting someone who you didn't realize was actually your enemy. They didn't have your good intention, in their heart, and so they deceived you. This could be related to that, definitely. So maybe placing false trust on others, right? And I think that's where the Six of Pentacles becomes very important, because when it comes out in this position, it indicates trusting others, but placing that trust in false hands. Right? So it's like you have someone or some people surrounding you who you thought, your near and dear ones, who you thought, had your best interest in mind, or maybe, you got persuaded too easily by someone's sweet talk, right? Or some people's sweet talk, some scheme, right? And then, and that resulted in your trouble. They took advantage of your impulsive nature. They took advantage of your maybe you are a person who's basically nice at heart, right? And that's why you cannot think of, you don't see the bad in others easily, right? So you tend to trust others easily. So definitely it could be of someone or some people taking advantage of your trust, right? I think that's what this indicates. Yeah, so Seven of Materials. So again, I think the Seven of Materials over here, it came out just below the Nine of Wands. So it definitely talks about, you are now trying to reverse that, whatever loss you have suffered because of that deceit, that unjust thing, you are trying to come out of that. You are trying to, put in more effort. So Seven of Materials or Seven of Pentacles talks about that sustained effort. So you are still not giving up. I think the Nine of Wands also indicates the same thing. And I think that's why the Knight of Wands also indicates what I had talked about earlier, that need for that sustained effort, that need for that new plunge, right? Realizing, your mistake, and the fact that, you have landed in this kind of a trouble because of your tendency to trust others too easily, and to also, be more impulsive, realizing that. And at the same time, keeping up that sustained effort to fight against that odd, to come out of that, to close it out, and to come out more stronger, more victorious, and with that knowledge that whatever you had done earlier, it was not fully right, that you shouldn't be too rash, you shouldn't trust others too easily, you should think through all the pros and cons before you do anything, right? So Four of Cups. So I think definitely, you are tired. Definitely, there's frustration in you. It's like, you are thinking that why did this happen with you, and what should you do next? But the good thing is, I also sense that things are not over for you, right? And things are not at all over for you, because I think there's a turnaround coming in you, or a turnaround waiting for you. And new opportunities may be coming your way, right? Because again, I think you are not the person, who is ready to give up. That's what the Seven of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands shows over here clearly, right? So you are not someone who's ready to give up. Yes, you have landed in trouble. Yes, it was probably partly your irresponsibility, that could have landed you in that kind of that could have landed you in that trouble where people took advantage of you. Yes, all that is true, but at the same time, you are not giving up, and I think that's why new opportunities are probably coming your way, though you may not be seeing them yet. Yep. See, I have the Four of Cups and the Page of Materials. So definitely new possibilities, new opportunities are coming your way. So keep up that fight in the month of March, right? Though, you have been the victim of some wrong things, some unjust things may have happened with you. Some people may have tried to cheat you, may have tried to take advantage of you, and yes, you are fighting against that. And I think you are going to be able to come out of that. You just need to, fight that fight. Don't give up. Keep on doing that. Doing whatever you are doing. And I think these new opportunities is definitely coming your way. Some new sense of some new opportunity in terms of more financial. Reversing that financial loss. Bringing in new financial gain. I think that's what this Page of Material indicates, right? And also the Four of Cups. So keep doing that. So Muse of Voice. So I think this is the King of Swords, right? So again, see how the cards are stacking up one below the other, right? So here, if you remember what I had mentioned, with regard to the Knight of Wands over here, right? That you may have been too impulsive, right? And then the Temperance was right next to that. We talked about that more balanced approach to life, the more balanced approach to everything that you do, with a more need for more carefully thinking through something. So if just because, someone or some people comes to you with an offer that sounds too good to be true, and you accept that, without thinking, don't do that, right? So that's where, there's a need for you to think through properly. And that see that this King of Swords over here, this Muse of Voice is actually King of Swords. It talks about the same thing. Being more in control of your thought process, being the king of your own mind, being the king of your own intellect, right? Being able to perfectly decide what is right, what is wrong, right? This is a King of Swords is an authority figure, right? And this authority is not over someone else. This authority is over yourself, is over your own decision making, right? Being able to think through perfectly. I think that's what's needed. And if you do that, then you will be able to turn the situation around, because you can see the Four of Cups, the Page of Pentacles, and the King of Swords coming side by side. So keep on fighting that fight, keep that energy, keep that spirit high, and at the same time realize your mistakes, have control over that rash, impulsive tendency to take decisions. Don't trust others very easily. Think through all the pros and cons so that whatever has happened in the past doesn't repeat in the future. I think that's what you need to work on in the month of March, right? So the Queen of Inspiration, again, I think it talks about, you being temporarily down, right? Because obviously currently, I think as you are approaching into March, or as you are heading into March, you may have just come out of this unpleasant thing, right? And so you are still kind of down. You are still trying to, at sometimes, you feel like ready to give up, but don't give up yet. That's what I've been telling you. You need to keep that fight going. And there's definitely turnaround coming. There's definitely new opportunity coming, but just work on yourself. Work on that rash attitude, work on that ability, bring more balance in your thought process, bring more balance in yourself, and ask yourself, what is it? Why did you land in this place in the first place? Why did you trust these people so easily? Right? What was it that was inherently wrong in your own decision making, in your own judgment, that could have landed you over here, right? Okay, Magician. See, this Magician is very interesting because you have two Magician cards. This one over here had come out reversed, and I have again the Oracle, the Magician card over here. So definitely this talks about you people have it in you. You people have it in you in terms of energy, in terms of capability, in terms of maybe different skill sets, right? You are a fighter in a way. So you don't give up too easily, and you have a lot of skills, a lot of potential in you. That's one thing, right? That's why this may have been a temporary setback, but if you keep your fight going, you are going to get over it, and you will be able to turn around. Also at the same time, this Magician card is interesting because it talks about balancing. See over here, this is the water. This is the water energy over here, the blue. And this is the fire energy over here, right? This is the orange, right? So this magician card talks about bringing a balance between those two. Right? And again, this is very interesting because you also have the temperance card over here. Right? I think that's what I have been telling you again and again, that there is a need for you to balance bring greater balance in yourself, bring greater balance in your own decision making. Balancing this fiery spirit and this passion, right? I think right now there's a little bit of imbalance. So I think that too much of fiery spirit, ready to move ahead, ready to charge ahead, that may have landed you in trouble over here. Trying to get things too soon, right? Trying to jump ahead, right? It's ready to take the plunge. This is in a way this is good, but in a way, when you jump ahead too soon, then you tend to take rash decisions. And that's what, will land you always in trouble, because there are always bad people out there, who are waiting to take opportunity, who are waiting to take advantage of your rash decisions, take advantage of your trust, right? So that's why there's a need for you to balance that fiery spirit and the water energy. This water energy, this is more about calming, more about the emotional side, the heart and the brain, right? So there's a need for you to balance between heart and brain. There is a need for you to balance between the water side, your emotional side, and as well as your fiery, your decision making, your too much of energy, that side. There's an overall, it talks about the need for that balance, right? And yep, all tied up. So I think this is what I was referring to earlier, right? With regard to this 7 of Cups cup over here. So the 8 of Cups. So obviously you are right now, too tied up in that situation. So whatever you are trying to make sense of of the past, why it happened, whatever it was, the unfortunate incident. You are trying to sort out that incident. So that's why you are still very much stuck in that past. You are still trying to make right of whatever wrong has happened with you. I think this talks about it's basically the same thing as we have already discussed with regard to the 9 of Wands and the 7 of Materials, right? So obviously right now you are too tied up trying to sort out that mess, right? Now in some cases it could also be, this could also be a case of not only financial fraudulence, someone or some people cheating you financially. It could also be in some cases a case of you trusting others in a more emotional way. Maybe this is a case where you have suffered in a relationship, where someone took advantage of your nature, and they really took advantage of your nature, and they played along with you, and they were never really in a relationship with you, but you always thought that you have something going on with them, but it turned out to be completely different. They were in it only for fun. They were basically taking advantage of you all along. So this could be also a case where you have suffered emotionally, you have suffered in a relationship, and you trusted someone, you thought you were in love, but they were definitely not in love with you, and they were just simply playing along. This could be something also of that sort. So it could be either a case of emotional deceit or financial deceit, material deceit, right? One of them. And whatever that is, it's again, basically it's the same thing. It's about you not seeing the truth, you not thinking through. Maybe maybe you didn't understand, or you didn't try to understand the real nature of that person, and you trusted them too easily. That's what landed you in trouble, right? So it talks, but anyway, so there's a need for you to close that out and come out of that. And so if you keep that fight going, and so you are definitely walking towards that, you will be able to turn around. Yep. See, so far I have been talking about deceit, so obviously now this is very straightforward, right? The deceit card comes out. So the deceit, someone else's wrongdoing, has definitely played a big role in your life in the recent period, and so that's what you need to definitely work on in the month of March as you try to come out of that. Keep your energy high, keep your spirit high, keep the fight going. That's what you need to do in March. Get greater clarity. Ask yourself, like, what have I done wrong? What did I do wrong? Maybe I need to, straighten my thought process. Maybe I need to, become more balanced in my thinking, in my attitude. Maybe I need to be a little bit more careful while dealing with others, right? Maybe I shouldn't trust others too easily. Now, at the same time, not trusting others at all is also very bad, right? Even that is not desirable. But at the same time, trusting others too easily is also not desirable, right? Because especially nowadays, the world is filled with bad people, unfortunately. So what you have to make sure, my group number 2, is when you are dealing with others, don't jump into anything. Always think about the pros and cons. Maybe if you're getting engaged in some sort of a business activity with someone, right? Find out about them. Like, what is their history? How have they dealt with others in the past? Right? Find out, do that homework. Same thing applies if you're getting involved in a relationship, right? Don't jump into it immediately. Give it some time to see how things play out. Because the more you interact with others, the more you know about them. So give it that time, right? So don't be too rash in anything. See, I have been talking about rash all the time. And see what comes out, wait. This is exactly what I was saying, wait. Give it some time, right? I think your group number 2, your downfall is, you have a tendency to, just walk into it straight away. Don't do that. And as I said before, if you just correct yourself, be more patient, be more balanced in your thought, you have tremendous potential. And you are hardworking, definitely. You don't have any dot of energy or passion. You are people of some talent. You are people of some lots of skills. But it's just what's holding you back is that mindset. And the final card I have is opportunity. Again, this opportunity I've already talked about, with regard to this, the 4 of Cups, the Page of Materials, and the King of Swords. So definitely, new things are going to turn around for you. New opportunities are coming your way, maybe emotional, financial, maybe both are coming your way. So don't give up, and definitely work on your attitude. Be more balanced, have more clarity about the situations, what you are about to do, about your own decisions. Let things play out a little bit, be more patient, and wait to before you deal with anything. Don't jump into it too soon, right? And things are going to reverse. Things are going to turn in a more positive direction, and there is more opportunity waiting for you. I think that's all I have, my group number 2. I hope this resonates with you. If it does, do give me a big like and subscribe to my channel, and hope this makes some sense as you head on to March. I hope to see you in another video soon. For now, I take your leave. Bye. Hey, group number 3, let me see what you have for the month of March. What kind of changes, what kind of things are waiting to happen for you in the month of March, and if Tarot can provide some guidance for you in that direction. So for those of you who have chosen this tourmaline crystal, this will be your reading. Wow, okay. So straight away we start with the Devil card. Whenever this card comes up at the very first instance, it's obviously something is not going to be quite right. But before I comment on this too much, let me see what else is coming up. Oh, we have the Devil and the Sun. That is interesting. So it could be that overall things have been going well for you, and things will probably go well for you, but there may be a temporary dip in that in that in that hunky-dory phase, in that as it happens, in life there is always like these small ups and downs. There are like bigger ups and downs, and then on top of that there are smaller ups and downs, right? So I think in March you may be going into something like that, or you could be, as you are heading into March, you are probably already going through one of the smaller down phase. But overall, I think you have in general things going pretty favorably for you. Yep, so I have the Ace of Cups. So I have the Sun and then the Ace of Cups. So obviously, I get two things out of this. So one is, as I was telling before, in things in general are going pretty smoothly for you, pretty favorably for you. So overall, in terms of material prosperity, in terms of emotional fulfillment, overall, you are satisfied. You are happy. Things have been, the life has treated you fairly well so far. And again, when I say so far, I mean, obviously I don't know about your distant past, but at least recently, right? But things can take a little bit of a slightly ugly turn. Or, you may have just come out of that, whatever that ugly thing that I'm talking about. But let's see what else comes out of this. So what kind of a impact this unpleasant or this ugly thing will have on you, this whatever this negative thing will have on you, and how you are going to come out of that. Emperor, okay. Yeah, so there is need for again. Sorry, my card had become full, so I had to empty the card. So as I was saying, with regard to this Emperor card coming out reversed, I think. So definitely, this Emperor card reversed is, it indicates two things. One is definitely, as I was saying before, you have been, I get the sense that, you have been the victim of some sort of a betrayal, some sort of a treachery, right? And also at the same time, when the Emperor comes out reversed, that also indicates that, if you, for example, if you think about a true emperor, one who is emperor in the truest sense, a true emperor is supposed to be more just, more stable, very commanding, but commanding in a very good way, right? They know what is good for their subjects, they know what will work out eventually the best, right? So they are in perfect control of themselves. And they are also in perfect control of their kingdom. Now, when the Emperor comes out reverse, as I was saying, so obviously one thing is, as I've told you before, there's a sense of some treachery, some betrayal going on. But also, it looks like you are treating yourself as an emperor, but in a slightly deceptive way. It's like as if you are becoming too indulgent. You are becoming like a little bit arrogance, little bit haughtiness is coming into your attitude, is creeping into your attitude, and that may have led to this misstep, right? Where you have now become the victim of this treachery, of this betrayal. But let me see what else comes out. So we have the Page of Wands, and then we have the Three of Cups reversed. So I think, yeah. So when I see the Emperor reversed, the Page of Wands upright, and the Three of Cups reversed, especially the Three of Cups and the Emperor both coming out in the reverse. So it definitely talks about overindulgence. So I get the feeling, my group number 3, is that just because things have worked out so well so far for you, right? So you have had a lot of prosperity in your life. And I'm not saying that, you have always had the prosperity in your life, but definitely, you have enjoyed prosperity, you have enjoyed all sorts of, a material gain, material success, overall fulfillment in your life for most of the time. So there is this tendency that, you may have begun to think that nothing can go wrong for you, right? So in a way, you have become too overconfident. You have become too ambitious, right? And so that may have led to this negative thing, this betrayal or this treachery that I was talking about earlier. It's like, for example, if you are a businessman, right, and you have been endowed with all the success, all the prosperity, it's like whatever you touch turns into gold, right? So when this keeps happening, then you will start feeling as if that there is nothing that you can do wrong. You are perfectly in command of the circumstances, perfectly in control of your own self, of your destiny, of your circumstances, everyone. That's what this Emperor coming out reversed indicates. It's kind of like that little bit of an arrogant attitude that nothing can go wrong. Whatever I will do will turn into gold. Now remember that this kind of a attitude is good in a way. It's just like, for example, confidence. It's good in a way. You have that confidence in you to do things, to try out different things. But at the same time, if you become too much overconfident, that tends to make you blind, right? Then you start doing things without really thinking through, without really thinking about the pros and cons, right? You start letting other people into your life, who are not really trustworthy, who doesn't have your best interest in their mind, who are simply there to take advantage of your trust, who are like fair weather friends. They are simply there, as long as, to take advantage of your fame, to share your limelight. But they are not necessarily, your best friend. They don't have your best interest in mind. I sense something like that happening over here for this particular group, right? Wow. So I have another sun card. Right. So I have two sun cards. This sun card from the Muse Tarot deck, and then I have the sun card over here from the normal the Rider and Waite Tarot deck, right? So there's definitely no question, my group number 3, that you people are obviously very successful. You people are very, very successful. You have a lot of things going for you, emotionally, financially, materially. You are well endowed, a lot of prosperity. And again, as I was saying, that too much of prosperity has probably blinded you a little bit. Too much of prosperity has probably made you overconfident, made you overindulgent, right? You are getting too tied up in that material prosperity. You are getting overambitious. You are trying to achieve more and more and more. And as it happens, once you are on that path of trying to achieve more and more and more and more without any limit, then there will come a time where you are going to stumble on the path, and that stumbling for you has come in the form of some sort of a temporary setback, in the form of some betrayal, some treachery, some deceit, from either your business partners or your colleagues, or someone, or you maybe someone in your family, whatever it is. So the Muse of Voice, or the King of Sword, right? So I think this King of Sword has come out upright. So the King of Sword here is very interesting in light of this Emperor. So obviously, you are an emperor in a way. You are an authority figure. People listen to you. People respect you because of your prosperity, because of your position in the society. There is no question of that, right? People look up to you. There is no question of that. But the thing is, what is that doing to you? See, here the Emperor has come out reversed, but here again another King card has come up. Another Emperor card has come out. But question is too much of flattery, is too much of limelight, is too much of attention from others, is it getting into your head, right? Is it forcing, making you, take missteps? Is it forcing you to go in the wrong direction? Is it making you overindulgent? I think that's why, this other King of Sword coming out is very significant, because it talks about you becoming a real emperor, an emperor in your own eyes. And again, if you remember, what does a real emperor do? A real emperor doesn't let too much of that flattery get into their head. They are in perfect control of their own selves. They know what is good for them, they know what is bad for them, they know what is good for the others, right? So they don't let all these trivial flatteries, all these trivial limelights get into their head. They are very stable in a way. I think that's what he's talking about, this particular King of Swords coming out over here. You need to get more authority over yourself. You need to get more authority on your thought process, get more clarity. Obviously, you have had a lot of clarity. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been in this position, right, wherever you are right now. But I think that clarity had temporarily been clouded by that flattery, too much of flattery from others, that sense of pride, that sense of, achievement. So your clarity may have been temporarily clouded by that, and that's what may have led to all this trouble. So this is talking about regaining that clarity back, regaining that real authority over yourself, getting that clarity in thought, getting that, understanding what is good for you, what is good for your others. Maybe suppose, if you own a company, if you are a chairman of a company, right? And so in this case, it is not only enough for you to think what is good for yourself. It's also the ability to think what's going to be beneficial for your company as a whole and all those who are associated with your company, your employees, right? It is that stable thought process, and not to get too much carried away by others' flattery, not to get too much carried away by your own, your own arrogance or haughtiness, or thinking that, oh, nothing can go wrong for me. I have achieved everything. Whatever I touch will turn into gold. No, remember that in life, no matter how high you go, it doesn't take too much time for you to come down. One false decision, one rash decision, one decision, taken in haste, taken in arrogance, can bring you down all the way. So I think that's what you need to keep in mind. So I have the 3 of inspiration, and again the same thing. This is the 3 of wands. So obviously, you may have some big dreams. You may have been too ambitious. You may have been too overindulgent, and so again that has probably landed you into this trouble, this devil card, right? So I keep getting that thing. So the 3 of inspiration, the reversed, the Emperor I've already talked about, the Page of Wands, the 3 of Cups reversed. It all talks about that negative energy. So this devil, in a way, is not only about others' betrayal, others' treachery. It is also about your own mind deceiving you. It is about your own mind not proving to be your friend, right? Your own mind misleading you, by giving you the impression that, oh, I cannot do anything wrong. That, oh, everything will work out in my favor no matter what I do. It is your mind, misleading you in that way. That is also the devil card indicates. So this could be also that, it's your own working of your own mind, your thought, that may have misled you. So it could be also, so I think in most cases it is some sort of an external treachery, but that, it's your own deceit, it's your own minds playing games with you that may have paved the way for this external treachery. Yep, 10 of materials. So definitely there have been some trouble in the family also brewing. So overall things are very stable for you still. Overall, you are still in a much more envious position in life. And but again, note the word envious position, right? So I think your position has caused envy in others, has caused a lot of heartache in others, right? And I think that's what, and the 10 of materials over here coming out reversed. It could be like, this betrayal that I was talking about could have come from some close family members, and that may have temporarily caused some star in your family, some disbalance in your family life, right? So you have to be very careful about that also. It could be like some betrayal by your spouse. It could be, it may not be even, anything to do with, your financial treachery, or being a victim of some fraudulence, in terms of finance or or money matters. It could be also indicate someone in your family, maybe your spouse, your better half, maybe they had got involved into some sort of an extramarital affair, right, behind your back. I think this life of too much partying, too much overindulging, too much sense pleasure, right, too much material pleasure, that may have brought this vice into your life, where your spouse may not have been faithful to you. Queen of Materials. So again, I think the Queen of Materials and the King of Sword, it talks about being able to get that balance back in your life, in your own, and understanding what you have been doing wrong as individually and also as a family, that has brought this temporary dark cloud into your life, and getting that stability back. Six of Inspiration is Six of Wands, right? Again, the same thing. All these come out reversed. And again, Six of Inspiration over here, coming out below the Three of Cups. And then again, you have the Three of Wands reversed. It all talks about the same thing. So I'm getting that stronger and stronger vibe that the kind of life you have been leading, my group number 3, individually and as a family, maybe too much of material indulgence, maybe too much of partying, over ambition, this undiluted desire for material gain, material pleasure, getting too tied up with all these kind of things may have led all these vices into your life, where it's a betrayal by a partner, not being able to trust your partner, betrayal by colleagues, betrayal by business partners, having friends into your life who are not really true friends, but they're like fake people who are in there just to take advantage of you. And so that has it is your wrong attitude towards your life. It is your wrong approach to your life that is probably causing all this trouble. So you need to definitely work in the month of March to become more stable, right? Become more grounded, right? Stay away from this overindulgence too much. Become a king in the real sense. Get real command of your over your mind that tends to mislead you. Be more aware of flatteries. Be more grounded again. So someone who's more grounded, they are going to be able to distinguish the flattery from the real thing. They're going to be able to distinguish the fake friend from the true friend. So this ability to discriminate between the truth and false, between what is real and what is fake, that's what this King of Sword energy is, right? So you need to get into that position. And again, the King of Sword with the Queen of Materials. So it both talks about stability and that grounding. That is what is needed for you. So so let me see what else is there. Wow. See, I've been talking about deceit. So the deceit card comes up. So clearly, the deceit and the devil, I'm going to keep them side by side. So there's no question. Some deceit has happened. Whether it's an emotional deceit, whether it's a financial deceit, whether it's someone close to your heart, your own spouse, maybe your own family member, your brothers, maybe a family quarrel with regard to some property, some extramarital affair, something like that is strongly being indicated over here. Angel of Balance. See, this is what I was talking about, right? Being the angel of balance, bringing that balance back to your life. So again, this gels with the King of Sword and the Queen of Material energy over here, right? So angel of balance. Actually, let me keep them over here. Magician in the Mirror. See, this angel of balance and the magician in the mirror, they both talk about the same thing, that balancing that fiery side, being too aggressive, too ambitious, balancing that with your softer side, more emotional side, right? So you need to have that overall balance. Being the real emperor, again, it's being a real emperor. So just think about what a real emperor is all about, right? Getting that balance back, right? So don't get too much swayed by this excessive material comfort. Don't get too much, don't indulge yourself in too much partying, too much material comfort, too much over ambition, aggressive desires, just be grounded, be balanced. It's good that wherever you are in life, God has given you a lot. Everything has been going well for you so far in life, but At the same time, be grateful for that, be thankful, and try to be the real emperor. Always, try to discriminate between the right and the wrong, the truth and the false, right? Who has your best interest in mind? So that is what is really needed over here. Some course correction in the way you approach life. All tied up. Yep. So I think this all tied is obviously, this all tied up is nothing but, that tied up in the excessive material comfort, tied up with the excessive material desires, tied up with over ambition, right? That's what, you need to untangle, you need to come out of, right? So in your case, it's all about getting that balance back. And finally, I have forgiveness. So forgiveness, I think when I see this forgiveness card, so maybe that maybe the situation is going to improve in month of March. I think whoever has done that act of betrayal, act of treachery, they are going to probably realize their mistake and they are going to come back to you, right? So most likely, if it's a family thing, maybe if it's your if your husband or your wife, if they had indulged into some sort of an extramarital affair, I think at the end of the day they are going to realize their mistake and they are going to come back to you. And this is why you need to show forgiveness, right? So that's what this card is talking about, forgiveness, right? And finally, I have the situation will improve. So obviously, that's what I was talking about earlier, right? So the forgiveness, right? So situation will improve, right? As I said at the very beginning, my group number 3, overall for you the things are still going great, right? It's nothing to be terribly worried about. I think the temporary setback is a temporary dip, in your overall upward curve. That has brought in some cloud into your life, I think most likely it's a family life, but the situation will improve and you need to be more grounded and you need to develop that attitude of forgiveness, because I think whoever has done that not so pleasant thing that has caused you some amount of heartache, they will probably realize their mistake, or they have already probably realized their mistake and they are going to come to you and you need to show some forgiveness. What is more interesting, the last thing I want to say is that my group number 3 is your choice of tourmaline. Tourmaline crystal in general talks about protection, in general talks about healing. It also talks about developing that persona, that nature of being able to forgive others, developing more, bringing in more stability, more balance inside you. So I think in a way, my group number 3, you are going to come out more stronger from this temporary setback, and it's going to open your eyes in a different way, right? You're going to start treating life a little differently. Because again, so you have to be more thankful to whatever God has given you, for all the privileges in life, all the fame and glory in life. But just, don't get too tied up in that. That is the overwhelming message from this. What is your take home from that is that, not to get excessively involved in material pleasure. Be thankful, be more stable, be more balanced. And if anyone has done anything wrong, then, the ability to forgive them. And again, remember the angel of balance we have, we have the magician over here. We have the forgiveness. So we have the king of sword and the queen of materials, or queen of pentacles. All of this talks about that balance. So again, a little bit of course correction is needed, but I hope I have been able to convey whatever is needed for you. So please keep that in mind and be more forgiving. People make mistakes. If they have realized their mistake and they want to make, correct themselves, and then be open to that. And so I think that's all I have for you, my group number 3, and hope this message resonates with you. If it does, do give me a big like and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in another video in the future. For now, I take your leave. Bye. Hello, my group number group number 4, for those of you who have chosen this this kind of a wristlet or a bracelet that's made up of like these different crystals. We'll see what this group has to say about the energies for March 2021 and what sort of change you need to make, what sort of course correction, what you need to be aware of as you head on to March. Okay, so we get the Three of Cups reversed, Two of Pentacles, and then we have the Four of Pentacles reversed. So there may be some turbulence going on in your life. I'm especially drawn to these Two of Pentacles, and if you see this man, he's expected to maintain his balance. He's expected to maintain, that do that juggling act. And despite, and you can see that wavy background, that indicates some sort of turbulence, a lot of ups and downs, right? And so there may be some ups and downs going on in your life. And so maybe right now, you are in some sort of a downward phase. And, we will see what is exactly that's talking about. But I think the tarot is indicating that you need to still maintain that positivity, and you need to still maintain that balance inside you. And obviously, when I look at the Four of Pentacles over here in this position and the Three of Cups, so not financially, you may be going through not a very pleasant phase right now, right? And but you need to still, and what happens is when you are going not going through a particularly pleasant phase financially, right? And it becomes particularly tough to maintain that kind of a balancing act. And in fact, even in a very mundane sense, if you see, if you don't have that financial security, if your financial situation is tight, then just maintaining that balance and making everything fall in place in terms of your day-to-day requirements and day-to-day need can be a tough act, right? So I think this could well imply that. But let me see what else is there. So we have the Knight of Cups reversed, okay, and then we have next card is Ace of Wands upright, okay. I feel my group number 4, I think you somehow I get the vibe that you tend to be a little bit preoccupied, so I think you are wasting too much time, or maybe I should say maybe you are wasting too much time, in holding on to certain things and not being able to move ahead. You are tending to idling your time away, maybe getting a little bit too preoccupied and not focusing on the things that needs to be done, right? So there is clearly this Ace of Wands, it talks about that, that need for that new inspiration, that new drive. And it could also be that, in March, I think, you will need to, reinvigorate yourself, rekindle that passion that may have been lost in you, I think for some reason. And I think that's what this balance refers to, right? So basically, you may be a little bit subdued. You may be a little bit feeling down under. And we are going to see what can be the reason why you are feeling so down under. But clearly, there has been some ups and downs in your life, right? And so most likely, you are going through some down phase. And so either, you are too preoccupied with whatever has happened, like, there's a tendency to remain in the past, or the tendency to idle away your time in idle preoccupation, which is not really serving you anything useful. And so there is strong need for this, this new passion, this fresh drive, the fresh energy, right? Yeah, so as I was talking about, that downward phase, clearly the Ace of Cup over here is reversed. So some sort of an emotional issue, something to do with, with your heart, something to do with your overall that sense of fulfillment. That is not there yet. That is not there, and so you are kind of grasping for that. And I think so. It's the lack of emotional as well as lack of financial fulfillment. And I think if you have the financial fulfillment, that to a lot of extent, that also takes care of your overall fulfillment, right? I think that's the juggling act that you are trying to play right now. But the problem is, as you are trying to play that juggling act, you need to really dive inside and then find out that passion to be able to do a good act of, good job of doing this, right? Yeah, so it's the strength card, right? So the strength card has come up. So clearly there is a need for finding out that strength. So I think the possibilities are endless, but you need to find that strength. You need to be strong. So when you look at this strength card, with the Ace of Wands over here, clearly the message is you need to be a little bit strong and let go of the past and stop getting preoccupied. Stop wasting time on idling away and thinking too much about the past, and just focus on what needs to get done right now, and then find out that passion, right? Yeah, see again the Hanged Man, this has come out reversed. Right? So again it talks about overindulgence in something. So that lack of wisdom, that lack of, see, this is the third eye. If the Hanged Man had come out upright, this is the third eye that talks about that talks about the ability to see beyond the obvious, right? The ability to see beyond the mundane, right? This is the third eye. This is the eye of wisdom, right? So it's come out reversed. So it's like you are not being able to see the obvious. It's like, you are not being able to, you are too stuck in the past, or you are too stuck in what may have happened, and why it has happened and all that stuff, which is not really serving you any purpose right now. So I think in March you need to really work on that, and you need to really, as I have already said, rekindle that passion, find out your inner, that energy, that drive once more, be strong, and I think that is the way for you to move ahead, right? So Ten of Materials. So definitely your family or your near and dear ones, they may be there to support you, right, in this tough time, right? So that is a good thing. That is a positive side of this. So if you're seeking the assistance of your near and dear ones, if your family members, so definitely they are there to help you out. But you need to help yourself first, right? You need to be strong yourself. Also, another thing is, if you are strong, if you get that inner drive back, and if you are prepared to take those steps, initial steps, this could also indicate that you are heading for that overall that overall phase of prosperity in family life that you may have been lacking before, right? Yeah. So the Six of Wands, I think that's what. So in March, if you can reverse, that if you can work on your nature, if you can offset that tendency to dwell too much in the past, to basically be too preoccupied and not get anything useful done, right? So in March, if you can come out of this ace of this negative, this reversed ace of cup energy, right? And if you can really, get that passion back, then there's a lot of positive things waiting for you, right? So Six of Cups also talks about victory, also talks about family, also talks about, celebrating something together, right? So definitely I sense that your family, or at least your near and dear ones are there to support you. And once you can find yourself back, then it will be overall a more or less a positive phase of life in terms of family affair. So again, the Queen of Materials, the Queen of Pentacles, even this has come out reversed. So it again talks about, so there is a financial issue over here, right? There is a not only a financial issue, but it's also a lack of stability, right? Lack of, I think, emotional stability, and plus, in addition, there is definitely a financial side to it, that is not working out in your favor. So I again have Knight of Cups. It has come out in the same position. This is from obviously the Muse Tarot deck. So we have the Knight of Cups again in the same position, reversed. You already have the Knight of Cups over here in the same position, right? So let me make some space over here. So the Knight of Cups. Let me see the next card. Wow. Can you just believe this? See, this is what's so wonderful about tarot, right? Because you have the Knight of Cups and you have the Ace of Inspiration, which is the Ace of Wands. They have come out one after another in the same position as before. So you again have Knight of Cups reversed and Ace of Wands upright over here. From another tarot deck, you have again the Knight of Cups reversed, Ace of Wands upright. See, I do a blind shuffle and I do a blind picking, right? So there is no way, it's like the cards are biased in any way, right? But when combinations like this comes out, and exactly the same combination, same position, same sequence, and it basically re-emphasizes the message, right? And in your case, it is particularly strong message, right? So this Ace of Wands again, so it talks about basically again what I have been saying all along. There is some issue in the past that you are still sticking to, right? And that's what's hindering your progress. That's what's hindering your overall ability to move ahead, right? So you need to definitely move ahead, right? You need to definitely, stop indulging in the past, stop, being too preoccupied, right? And start moving ahead. And having two Ace of Wands over here, this one as well as this one over here, it clearly says that the drive, the passion. I think that passion, that drive, right now, you need that, really, really bad. I think that's what's holding you up. Awakening. So this will be the Justice card in the normal tarot, right? So again, I think you are not seeing the real picture. See, in an upright position, it's like, she's seeing the broader picture, right? She's getting the vision. That's why it says awakening. But in your case, you are not seeing it. It's come out reversed, right? So again, it's the vibe. It's one of not grasping the current opportunity, not holding on to what universe is presenting to you right now, rather like wasting away your time looking back. And that is what you need to really work on, my group number 4. But I think once you do that, and once you can, once you discover your inner strength and inner passion, I think there is a lot of positive cards over here, because I see 6 of Wands, I see 10 of Materials, or 10 of Pentacles. So there are certainly things that are worth looking forward to, but you need to work on that, work on your attitude right now. You need to work on your tendencies right now, right? And again, if you see the Awakening card and the Hangman reversed, they can both say the same thing. It's all about vision. See here, remember I talked about the third eye, right? And so that you're closing that So in your case, the third eye is not working. So again, if you remember what I said, the third eye is the eye of that vision. That is the eye of being ability to see beyond the obvious, right? Similarly, the awakening card over here, right? So I think it's about. I think what I get the feeling is that you are lingering or too much in the past, right? And I don't know exactly what has happened in the past, but there is obviously an Ace of Cups reversed over here. So there's obviously a sense of disillusionment, a sense of not being, a sense of unfulfillment, right? A sense of loss, and that is really bugging you, and you need to really come out of that, right? Okay, now I see the man holding a heart, right? So okay, now I probably get some sign. So you do have a emotional bent of mind, right? So you tend to work, or you tend to focus too much on the heart, and you probably ignore your brain to an extent, right? So that kind of explains what I have been seeing over here, right? Because people, who place too much importance on their emotion, right? People, who place too much emphasis on their heart, right? Sorry, I'm trying to adjust the camera so that you can see better. So people who place too much emphasis on their heart, they often tend to think over and over again over small emotional issues, over small emotional things that they could have easily gotten over if they had decided to. I think that's what's happening in your case, right? Because you are someone who is overly emotional, and that's what's hindering your progress. See the garden and the gate. So if you see over here, she's carrying this key over here, right around her neck. And this key is the key to this gate that's going to make her free. And there is obviously a brighter meadow full of prosperity waiting for her. But she's deciding not to open that gate and keep herself locked inside. So this is your emotional state. This is your mental state right now, right? That's what I was referring to earlier. So for some reason you have decided to keep yourself locked in. That is locked in where? Locked in is inside your emotional, or your mental cage, and this is like, I'm not going to look beyond my past. I'm not going to look beyond my current situation. I'm going to stay over here locked. And in a way, this kind of gives you some sort of a satisfaction in a very, probably a little bit in a morbid way, because some people, they get some sort of a strange satisfaction by reminiscing too much about the past, by reminiscing too much about things that have gone wrong, right? And I guess in your case, it may not be even that bad, right? Because if you look at her, this garden where she has kept herself locked in, even that garden is not all that bad, right? But you still need to free yourself, because there is a different kind of happiness in being free yourself, right? When you feel free, when you don't find yourself locked up anymore, and in your case locked up in past memories, locked up in oh, why did this happen, and how it could have been different, or if I had done this, maybe it would have been different, or why did she did this to me, why did he did this to me, all that stuff. It is still a past. It's not like he really helping you in any way. So the point is, you need to come out of this. You need to make yourself free. You need to open that gate, right? And that's what this hangman is talking about. That's what the awakening is talking about, right? So once you do that, you will be able to make progress. The angel of balance. This is what I was talking about, right? So this is the same thing, the garden and the gate and the angel of balance. Finding that balance inside you. Right? And really discovering that knowledge inside you. right? Because these pyramids over here, they signify ancient knowledge, ancient wisdom, right? So this is in a way the symbolical of your wisdom. And see, remember what I told about the hanged man over here, the third eye. This is again signifying the same thing, like the wisdom. It's your own inner wisdom. It's your own inner passion. So that wisdom, passion, the strength, if you also discover that, my group number 4, and if you work on that in March, you will be able to make progress. And so the final 3 tarot cards I have is the let go. This is what I have been referring all along during this reading, right? So let go. So for some reason, you are stuck in the past. You are too preoccupied with your past or with your current situation, but you are not making any effort at the same time to change it, right? So I think that's where in March you need to really get your inner drive, inner passion back. And remember again, this Ace of Wands has come out twice. And at the same time, the Knight of Cups has also come out twice, right? So again, them coming out twice basically just underlines the overall importance of these two issues, like not getting preoccupied and moving ahead and discovering the inner strength, inner passion, inner balance, right? Also, you had the Two of Pentacles over here, you had the Angel of Balance over here. Both of them talks about balance, right? And the final 2 cards I have are not the right time. So maybe you are doing something, maybe you are beginning to free yourself of that inner cage, that mental cage, and you are beginning to walk to make progress. But remember, that is not an overnight process, right? So don't give up, right? So once you start doing that, it may take a little bit of time, but you will see progress eventually. You will see eventually progress and success. So I think that's what this card is saying, not the right time, right? So keep working at it. And the final last card I have is if you believe. Again, I think this is the same thing as these 2 Ace of Wands over here. So have self-belief, have self-courage, have self-conviction, have that self-drive, right? If you believe, you can do anything, right? The entire world is in your hand. It is all about you having that self-belief, that self-drive, that self-conviction. Then you can achieve anything that you want, right? So I think my group number 4, the message over here is one about rediscovering that inner belief, rediscovering that inner passion, rediscovering that strength. So once you work on that, I believe you have a lot of potential. You have, because again you have the 10 of Pentacles over here, you have the 6 of Inspiration over here. So and again the Ace of Wands has come out twice. Plus you have the If You Believe card over here coming out. So it's telling you, the tarot is telling you again and again and again and again, and I may have repeated this umpteenth number of times that March is not the time for you to really remain stuck in the past. March is the time for you to break your bondages, break all your that mental blockages, that mental issues, and break free of them. Find your inner drive, find your inner passion, find your inner balance. Right? Find that strength inside you. Have it inside you. That's why the tarot is coming up with all this, the strength cards, because you have it inside you, and you have belief in that, belief in your conviction, and let go of the past. Right? Let it go. Let go of the past. Then you are ready to move ahead, and you do have brighter things waiting for you. But just be patient with that. Right? And I think your family members, your well-wishers, they are probably also around you to lend you a support, and I also see victory and a lot of success for you, so just keep at it. So that's all I have for you, my group number 4. Hope this reading resonates with you. If it does, don't forget to give me a big like and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in another video in the future. For now, I take your leave. Bye.